courtesy of our friends at the DQs of Northwest Edmonton and Sherwood Park. We open up our email inbox. We give you an opportunity to give us your hottest takes. It's a feature that we call the Flamethrower, and it's presented by our friends at the DQs of Northwest Edmonton and Sherwood Park. This one here from Ronnie, who is listening to us talk to Andrew McDougall, Stephen Harper's former director of comms, and he says, Jess, well, I'm just writing in to say very simply, I don't want an election before the end of 2024, which is why part of me is hoping that pro-aggression is the thing that happens to avoid it. The outcome of the next election is all but assured at this point, and I can't see any harm in delaying the inevitable coronation of Pierre Poilievre. I really dislike Trudeau, says Ronnie, but Poilievre is smarmy. He's a politician corrupted by Ottawa, and don't think for a second that a conservative government under him will be any better than what we have now. Ronnie says, I just had to get that off my chest. How about this one from Wendy, who says, Jessica, I was so upset with what Pierre had to say, Poilievre that is, on the October 7th Day of Remembrance. I was watching the news and I saw the comments about that increasing conflict involving Israel and the Middle East. Why on earth would we encourage Israel to strike Iranian nuclear plants?
If Israel were to stop that genocidal, theocratic, unstable government from acquiring nuclear weapons, it would be a gift by the Jewish state to humanity.
It's only going to cause more suffering and hardship and put more innocent lives at risk. Canadians are known through the world as peacekeepers, and we should never engage in rhetoric that fan the flames of war and division. She says we look to our leaders to bring people together, to work collaboratively to find peaceful solutions. We must never give up on peace. That from Wendy out of Calgary. How about this one from Andrew, who didn't like our October 7th show at all? He says, Jespo, I'm writing in to criticize your uncritical platforming of Musa Kaskas. The anniversary of October 7th should be a day dedicated to the victims and survivors of that terror attack, and I found your first segment with those Israeli gals, Miri and Maytal, describing the emotional toll appropriate and moving. But when I heard you say you'd also have a Palestinian representative, I was open to hearing a hard conversation about mutual humanity and the physical and emotional damage being done to both sides. Instead, I was shocked to hear the gish-galloping greatest hits of college protest anti-Israel factoids. Two traumatized women talking about their lived experience is not an appropriate counterbalance to such propaganda. That from Andrew. And how about this one from Karine, who says, Jespo, I did some frustrated vacuuming after listening to your September 27th Flamethrower. That letter from Brent about teachers always wanting more money, giving air to people who have chosen to not listen to your guests, not actually hear what they're saying is, well, frustrating to say the least. Education workers are not asking for more money for wages. They're asking for proper supports of care for everybody's children, and the mental health of our staff, of teachers, is not even being considered. As in healthcare, we're seeing an unprecedented exodus from the education professions. Karine says, I want to sign off with a cheers this Friday to educators who so badly need this long weekend to recover and look at other options. That from Karine. You can fire up your Flamethrower anytime to talk at ryanjesperson.com. It's proudly presented by the DQs in Palisades, Namao, Newcastle, Westmount, and Baseline Road. Have a very happy Thanksgiving weekend, everybody. We'll observe the Monday stat with our families, and we'll be back live with Tuesday's episode. You're not going to want to miss it. We've got those two wildfire experts, the ones that were testifying in front of that parliamentary committee in Ottawa, talking about what they did wrong in Jasper. You'll hear them here only on Real Talk.